In Princess Diaries 2, Royal Engagement, we're treated to an adventurous continuation of the first film, where Anne Hathaway's Mia goes from having 30 days to decide if she wants to be a princess to having 30 days to decide if she wants to be the queen. Okay, so they sort of had to rush the sequel to make sure it came out before the first movie's core audience became juniors in high school. I know from experience that once a Caucasian middle-class teenager gets their first sip of a wine cooler, they're not watching DVDs at slumber parties anymore. They're out at the park smoking clove cigarettes and conjuring spirits, which is probably why Royal Engagement came out 3 years after the original movie, despite taking place 5 years in the future. But don't worry, because a familiar story means lots of comforting trademarks from director Gary Marshall, such as an adorably clumsy leading lady surrounded by fresh flowers, subtle cultural tokenism, and a speaking role for every grandchild on his Christmas list, despite any prominent acting struggles or orthodontic appliances. It's time to side saddle up and sing some Julie Andrews show tune in another royal installation of clip breakdown. Tally-ho! Hello television viewers, my name is Nick. Thank you so much for joining me once again on my channel for another installment of Clip Breakdown. This is the playlist where we take our favorite movies, TV movies, and other content on the web and break it up into tiny little individual members of parliament and we all vote on is it royally good or royally bud. And today, you've already been here to see the first Princess Diaries Clip Breakdown, and if you haven't, then you can go ahead and watch that first because there's a lot to catch up on, okay? Mia's a brand new person. A lot of new things are happening that smell like old things that have already happened, but still, before we get into it, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up if you want to see even more clip breakdowns just like this. But most importantly, if you're new to my channel, I would love to have you click that subscribe button right over here. That way you never miss new videos from me. I upload 2 new ones every week, so turn on notifications and you'll always be the first to know when Parliament is in session. Also, I've got merch available and a Patreon where you can access bonus episodes and exclusive watch parties. And now, it's time to sing Old Lang's song. What's the graduation song? Sing the Latin song. You're being real trustworthy of your fellow undergraduates there, Mia. I don't care if I just graduated with a BFA in international affairs. I would be snatching that CGI crown out of the air so fast, have those student loans paid off before the hats even hit the ground. And then I'd be like, oh my god, you lost your tiara, princess, let me help you find it. Meanwhile, I'm Googling directions to the nearest pawn shop. But maybe I'm taking it too literally. Maybe Princess Mia didn't actually throw her tiara into the air with the graduation cap toss in what looks like Angela Anaconda graphics. Maybe that's just like a figurative representation of the movie since, you know, she's a princess who's graduating. Even though the movie's not really about her graduating college, it's more, I guess, about her graduating from princess to queen? I don't know, I'm not an English teacher. Hi. All right, so the Diaries. It took me until this part of the movie to realize Princess Diaries is called that because she gets the diary that she's writing in at the end. But already I'm like, okay, but she got that diary at the end of the first movie, whatever.
Oh, I can't believe it's been 5 years since Grandma told me that I was a princess. My mother surprised me by marrying my high school teacher.
Why does Mrs. Thermopolis O'Connell get to live out my 7th grade fantasy of marrying the hairy-chested man who teaches social studies? Wow, I will really just say anything that comes into my head on this show. The only secret I keep is the brand of stick deodorant that stops my inner thighs from chafing when it's humid. Have you ever had to scrape black mold out of your own creases like a child's thermos? Then don't talk to me. This diary is really helping get a lot of explanation out of the way at the top. So soak it up.
How's Michael, you may ask? Well, we're just friends now, as he went off to tour the country with his band.
Why are you writing questions to your diary as though it has a working, thinking brain? How's Michael, you may ask? It also may not ask, because it's a book. And in the original young adult book, Princess Diaries made sense because the whole book was probably as though it was being recounted in Mia's journal. But here in the movie, it's just an excuse for expositional voiceover, which is always a C- in my book. Woohoo! How's that for international affairs? This is what they do at sports games. Woo, 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 woo. That's a side of me you've never seen. So as you see, they're like, how's Michael? Well, he's not in this movie. And that's because that actor was actually in the rock band Rooney, and they were on tour at the time. That made me think of my sister Jill. I thought she would like to know that fact because I remember her liking Rooney. Something about being on a beach. I don't know. Either way. It's time for Annie Hathaway to take her throne in Genovia.
Grandma Clarice will step down by the end of this year as queen, and I'll be taking over since I'm now 21.
What in the Polar Express was that? Who built the Genovian airport using the Sims 4 Get Famous expansion pack? I feel like they thought they could just sub in a shot from the unreleased Princess Diaries 2 PlayStation game and we wouldn't notice. And I demand an investigation into this smooth, textureless tarmac. The little airline people look like Thomas the Train Engine fellows. I was first like, oh, did they go to some European town to shoot this? But no, this was actually all shot on the Little Europe backlot, which is the, European street setting that they have at the Universal Studios backlot. So this was an entirely American-made film. Don't be too impressed. In fact, it actually kind of explains why nobody has an accent.
Mira, la princesa mia! It's the princess from America! Hi!
Please, humble villagers, go back to your rustic daily chores at the Panara Bread. I'm just gonna cross the street and sign a contract for a sidewalk cell phone plan from La Bambina Nokia. It's the princess from America. Hi! Did that get you your SAG waiver? I'm curious, I gotta know. Princess Mia, as she just said, has recently turned 21, which is high time because she's about to be taking the throne as the princess. Queen. The princess becomes the queen at age 21. I don't know why they chose that age. Something to do with the American legal drinking. Like 21 is very arbitrary for a European country to pick since their legal age of adulthood across the board is 18, but mama, what do I know? I also love that they just gloss over Mia's entire college experience. They're like, oh yeah, she probably learned a lot. We don't know.
Our tradition says I have to dance with all the eligible bachelors in Genovia.
And chooseth one to pump me with thy royal seed. Huzzah! In the first movie, they made it seem like Genovia was this magical utopia that combined only the most quaint aspects of European countries. They said, sorry, we don't have crime or racism, but we do have adorable storefronts and an inscrutable dialect. Is it Spanish? Is it Italian? Is it British? Sometimes. It kind of depends on whatever friend of the director they give the line to. We get to bring back, of course, some of our favorite, most memorable characters from the first movie, like Lady, who helps us with stuff.
She'll have a double door entrance.
Mama, you need a double door entrance so we can fit that entire hairpiece into the room. Why did they staple a lapdog's ass to the crown of her head? Someone said, oh, added volume? You mean like bichon frisé? But everybody get ready because here comes the highest paid actress in the film. Oh, she got a little disoriented there on her way in, but we're back on track. The whole palace is like, the queen is still perfectly fit to rule Genovia despite her advanced age. As she comes twirling down the staircase like, tonight I've dressed like a kite so I can fly to the party. Like, okay, her fish oil supplements are officially not helping enough. We get some iconic lines in both the first and the second movie, so I appreciate that the dialogue is really good in both films, I would say.
But you're late, Your Majesty.
A queen is never late. Everyone else is simply early.
Okay, fine. So we took your sister off life support early then. Either way, you kind of missed it. Queen Clarice has some royal saying for every damn thing. She's like, a queen doesn't get pubic lice. She simply holds a royal court in her panties. Speaking of things that we can pass from one to another, what are we all doing with vaccines? Have you gotten your vaccine yet if you're eligible? I would love to know. As you may or may not know, the Delta variant of COVID-19, which originally started in India, is 60% more transmissible than the first COVID variant. So that's an issue. The WHO is now even encouraging fully vaccinated people to wear masks indoors. And although vaccinated people can still become infected with the Delta variant, it's known that you're much less likely to pass it on or become hospitalized or severely ill if you're vaccinated. So it's super crucial that we all get vaccinated as soon as we're eligible and that there's a vaccine available to us. In the US, we're actually now shipping out surplus vaccine dosages because we really all have to deal with this world health crisis together. Nobody's safe until we're all safe. The pandemic has already killed over 3,900,000 people already, and that goes up every day, unfortunately. So the vaccine is our greatest strength to getting back to full normalcy. And if you are vaccinated, don't be afraid to post about it because you never know who that little post might be encouraging. You could always be getting one more unvaccinated person to change their mind and going out and getting the shot. I want my pubic lice party to be the only pandemic that we're celebrating this year, okay, mama? Okay, mama, blast the Lady Gaga. Blast the Lady Gaga for my pubes. Okay, do you guys love other Easter eggs to other movies? Cause mama, we're giving them.
Amelia Mionette Thermopolis Rinaldi, Princess of Genovia.
Okay, I don't know who Mr. Floppy Hat is, but he better use that royal stick he's holding to skewer me like a corn dog. I would be up at that party in my saloon dress like, so what part of town are you in? Does this job come with a pension? Do you guys remember the director Gary Marshall's other great film? It was called Farty Woman, I think. It was called.
It happens all the time. And happy birthday.
And also, I'm your real father. They lock me in the dungeon at night because I broke the royal dress code by wearing an ankle bracelet to the beach one time. I love the idea that Genovia is secretly a totalitarian regime that only looks like Disney World because of careful camera angles that frame out the brutality. Did I just say I love the idea of that? That's up, Nicholas. So as they already said, Mia has to meet all of the eligible bachelors of the planet, basically, at this party, because she's trying to get a husband. There's like a couple different ways she's supposed to meet every eligible bachelor, so I don't know why they're never all in one room. Whatever. People in these kids movies will just gouge a hole or leave their fingerprints in the icing of a $600 cake and everyone thinks it's cute. I don't care if you are the princess, you better get that little Coke spoon of yours out of the communal dessert. Mia partied like a rich kid in undergrad and it shows. Why does she have that spoon? I know things. But she gets caught. She gets interrupted by her friend who we can only assume is from Africa. It's not explicitly said.
I saw that. Oh, I missed you!
What have you been up to?
Partying girl, you know.
I really hope you enjoyed Raven Simonier's accent in that scene because for the rest of the movie, she sounds like plain old Disney Channel American, which is like regular English, but cheated 5 decibels louder for the camera. Hi, I'm on Disney Channel. Why do I talk like this? Mom, no! They told me I wouldn't be able to get a job at the Sunday school fair unless I got a B- on the jelly bean accident. And then the mom is like, well, I was told that I would get to marry a superstar if I got a tattoo on my lower back, but it looks like we both got deceived. I was just possessed by a sassy mom and her daughter. I deserve my own Nickelodeon show. I deserve my own Nickelodeon show. I deserve my own Nickelodeon show. I'm just kidding. I don't deserve pretty much anything.
The fault was entirely my own. I apologize.
Are you sure you don't want to exchange licenses and proof of insurance?
No, these shoes were a little big anyway. Swelling should help them fit better.
Mia just said, so do you like want my phone number? And he said, no, but my feet are swollen. Bye. You've been rejected, mama. That doesn't take 4 years of schooling to see. There's a little bit of comedy about the poor matches that Mia has to dance with, including very old people and very young people.
That's Prince Jacques. He's about 12 years old. He's a very precocious prince. He wears aftershave to make people think that he's old.
I feel like Raven and the director compromised so that she wouldn't have to try that accent anymore if they could just put a slightly larger traditional hat on her. Production was like, it honestly doesn't matter what she sounds like. As long as she's on camera wearing a dashiki, she's technically fulfilling her contract. I don't know what is up with the waiters and the servers. They're basically like throwing knives around these princess people and everyone's like, oh, it's okay. Some guy comes over with a tray like and knocks off her $200,000 crown with it. Like, I can't.
Be more careful, Your Royal Highness. Somebody might try to take that away from you.
Oh, I hope not. Thank you so much for all your help.
Someone like me.
Never mind, I'll find
Someone like me.
like you.
Me.
Hey, does anybody know who the antagonist of this movie is gonna be?
Me.
Oh, work. Thanks for announcing it in the middle of this crowded room. If I was Mia, I would be like, security, there's a suspicious little man over there who kind of looks like Wario that needs to be removed. Thanks. Another couple of fun characters that we have in this movie are Brigitte and Brigitte.
Brigitte and Brigitte? Please, you don't curtsy like that.
Like this, maybe?
No, I didn't mean like...
Queen bids you good morning, princess. She's in session with Parliament. I see you've met your lady's maid.
Oh, you mean Flippy and Dippy over here with the vaudeville comedy routine? Yeah, can't wait to watch them drop my baby down the stairs one day. For some reason, almost every service worker at this entire castle is delightfully inept. I feel like Mia spends a lot of time treating them like Snow White treats the 7 dwarves. She's like, oh, you adorable little minuscule, dim, uneducated, poor, dumbass little babies. thank you for washing my panties while I dance at the ball. Mia finds like a secret passage, which I was like, oh, okay, secret passages. It was very Twitches too, because it brings her to a secret listening chamber of Parliament. So she's able to listen to her grandmother speaking with Parliament. To me, this doesn't really add much. Like, the secret chamber never really comes into play again. And when she's listening in on this information, it's stuff that she finds out anyway in just another scene. So it's not like it gets her any advantage by getting the secret. I think it'd be cool if she like was getting a jump start on Parliament's chances at thwarting her by listening to what they were trying to do that was unfair the whole time. But we never see her back to it again. We just kind of, she's in there hearing this. Her grandmother's hearing something that her ascension to the throne is at risk.
Genovian law states that a princess must marry before she can take the throne.
We have never enforced that law. A man doesn't have to marry to be king. I mean, this is the 21st century, for heaven's sake.
She said, how is it that when it comes to keeping my face and neck looking smooth, we fly in the Korean plastic surgeries with medical technology from the future? But then when it comes time to putting someone new on the throne, it's colonial Washington once again. Oh, that's convenient. And now all of a sudden we got gray-faced Goldie oldies coming up and saying they don't think Mia can do this, like all of a sudden? Didn't we spend the whole first movie convincing the world she's a good princess?
Not all of us are sure that the princess is the most suitable choice to govern our great nation.
They could replace all of these old men with Waldorf and Statler from the Muppets, and it would take me a full 30 seconds to notice. Also, I feel like Genovia has been planning this transfer of power for the whole 5 years since Mia found out she was princess. So now I don't see why he gets to stand up and speak his truth right before the ceremony happens. Just because he's finally coming out of the coma from his autoerotic asphyxiation accident, that shouldn't be the taxpayer's problem. Regardless, it's basically decided by the court that they're gonna give her 4 weeks, 30 days, to find a suitable, eligible bachelor, and that means she can take the throne as queen once she's married. That obviously comes as a shock to Mia, because 30 days means she's gonna have to enter an arranged marriage with someone that she doesn't really know.
You agreed to an arranged marriage. Right.
Yes, I did. And it turned out quite splendidly.
He would only put it in me when I was fast asleep. And when it was time to conceive of a child, your grandfather gifted me with the strongest opium blackout powders that the royal pharmacy could source. I love how this movie is basically like, listen, it's a personal choice. Some people get married off at a very young age to maintain political power. Some people marry for love. We're not here to judge the families. No gays, no Asians. It basically comes down to the same choice that Mia was given before, where Clarice was like, your father chose to abandon you because of the love of his country was stronger than his love of your dumbass. And now she's being like, I went along with an arranged marriage because the love of my country felt better to me than, you know, getting a good in my that I cared about. That's basically what she said. So now, you know, they're really into that, being like, we don't know, it's up to you, your choice, totally your call. Either get married into basically indentured servitude for the rest of your life, or don't, and we won't give you any more money for grad school. Okay, we go back to that weird suspicious guy from the party, and we see that he's in cahoots with Mr. Stubtoe, played by Chris Pine in his first theatrical role. The uncle, the evil uncle, is like, here's how we're gonna take the throne.
I can make this dart hit the bullseye every time.
I'm not sure the bewildered yelling made that seem more intimidating. Now I just kind of want to take away your game room privileges back at the assisted living facility. Maybe that whole scene seemed cooler in the script / book. Waddle, waddle, tappy. Another fun character, Joseph, the head of security's nephew, was an intern. Ugh, I don't even think we see him in the clips. He's that peripheral. Peripheral sounds like a dessert to me, like a parfiterol. Speaking of those two goons, those bad guys that we just saw, Clarice is somehow like, and now they're our best friends.
If there's any mischief going on, I'd prefer it be right under my nose.
That's right, when your political nemesis is trying to stage a coup, it makes perfect sense to invite them into your palace so that they can easily step over your slaughtered corpse on the way to the throne. And I'm letting you know right now, as the court jester of Genovia, I have no royalties to any particular family. I stay devoted in telling jokes to whoever has the biggest sword. Don't say anything, sassy gay uncle. What? I wasn't gonna say anything. You're the one who said it. Oh. You know what doesn't matter anymore? Mia's interest in rock climbing, Mia's interest in classic cars, basically any defining character traits that made her so cool and unique in the first movie. All of that has been replaced with a Chanel suit. Right when Mia sees that Chris Pine, the boy that she flirted with at the party, is actually the guy who's trying to take her crown, she's like, she goes into upset hoodness. She goes right into ice cream mode, you know, like all girls do. So stereotypical, by the way, like.
So, you know, we dance.
Whenever an actor is eating on camera, all I can notice is how they play with their food to avoid taking too many bites. They're like, well, I'm just talking while eating ice cream, and I don't know, like, I just wish I could tell you, but all I can think about is how much I want to eat this ice cream. I just gotta get some more ice cream out of the scooping from the ice cream. I just wish I could eat it. Oh, like, we get it, Barbara. Yogurt has texture. You better glurp it into your slurp or get out of the kitchen. Also, the audio department clearly wanted to really sweeten the sounds of her eating.
So, you know.
They said macaroni in a pot. That's some wet ass ice cream.
Hey, right on.
Glurp my slurp, Mr. Haagen-Dazs, glurp my slurp. I almost bought 7 pints of ice cream after watching this movie. The only reason I didn't is because I couldn't get a bank loan approved. Mia finally gets let into her brand new princess quarters. She had a delay because there was a plumbing issue. They're like, oh, we let one of the dignitaries' nephews do the plumbing.
It's a good lesson. Nepotism belongs in the arts, not in plumbing.
Ooh, great reminder, actually. This movie was proudly sponsored by Hollywood nepotism. That was just a fun, self-aware joke from the director about how he helped prevent more deserving talent from ever being seen by the public in one of his classic films. Let's see some of the family members of Gary Marshall in this movie. His wife, Barbara Marshall, is Lady Jerome. Their children play Charlotte, security guards, teachers. Grandchildren play little ring bearers, princesses, and their niece is in it. It's just like, okay. A lot of them, you can almost tell whenever one of them are in there because it's like they'll say something and you're like, ooh, that was a non-actor. Anyway, the surprises don't stop when Mia is in her royal closet.
I'm gonna lie. You're here! I know. You're in Genovia! I know. You're in my closet! Yeah. You're blonde!
Or rather, you were blonde a couple months ago and decided to let it grow out. IMDb mentions they had Heather Matarazzo come out of the closet here because in between the two films, she came out as gay. I don't know if that's true or just a coincidence, but love that for you, Heather. Okay, so now Mia is looking at a slideshow of eligible bachelors she can marry.
Yes! Oh, yes! I absolutely accept.
Prince William. He's not eligible because he's in line for his own crown. I just love to look at him.
Me too.
Your Majesty.
You hear that, kids? Even the White Witch of the North wants to get her icebox slammed by that 21-year-old with a tragic past. Oh, my goodness. This is a priceless little moment of homophobia.
Antoine Soussan of Paris plays the harp.
Yeah, he's cute.
His boyfriend thinks he's handsome also.
Right on. No matter, put him on all the invitation lists. He's a divine dancer.
Listen, if you're going to be plastering the conversation with gay stereotypes, it kind of starts to feel like hollow virtue signaling at some point, Disney, which kind of goes for any other gay characters that they've come out with since then. Well, listen up, Mickey Mouse. Until I see Gaston wearing black rubber gloves and fisting the Italian chef from Lady and the Tramp, you're not fully endorsing my gay lifestyle, okay? Also, I love knowing that Joe from security had a secret manhunt profile in 2005 just so we could scope out and see which Twinkie French boys were secretly gay. Okay, we see you on those message boards, Joe_mustache daddy 69. Look at the hobbies they put for Antoine: harp, poetry, dressage, Liberace memorabilia. No 23-year-old in 2000 was listening to Liberace. Like, this is how you know this was written by an old queen. Liberace hasn't been a gay stereotype since Liberace was alive. All right, so after some brief courtship, Mia does hit it off, sort of, with this guy, Andrew, who is like an eligible bachelor. And it seems like they could definitely make it work in an arranged marriage. They're both very respectful of each other and they don't hate each other. But there's definitely no spark. I think the movie did a good job at showing showing us that this was like sort of a conflict for her. Like she's like, oh, definitely he's nice, but it doesn't work, without her having to really explicitly say it at first. Meanwhile, Chris Pine is still trying to woo her with his huge hair. So they like sneak off to closets to talk, and that causes a whole stir amongst the royal people. All of this going on while Mia has to prepare for her big ceremony in a month where she'll become the princess.
To fulfill one Genovian tradition, I must learn to shoot a flaming arrow through a ceremonial ring, which will happen on the eve of my coronation.
Is it ever Genovian tradition just to do something the plain old normal way without all the vaguely European pageantry? In the third movie, she's gonna be like, "Dear diary, so they just told me that I have to give birth underwater in a SeaWorld tank while they all throw pears at me. But is it really Genovian tradition for them to stream it on their pay-per-view network? Some other funny moments that mean nothing." Props.
It's a tremendous tool of communication. You can say things like, I'm feeling flirtatious. I never wish to speak to you again. I'm feeling terribly shy today.
When has Queen Clarice ever found it necessary to communicate with chimpanzee sign language and a fan? Listen, I'm not trying to gossip, but I did see her huffing some cleaning products off the maid's cart before this meeting. Just saying. There's this part of the movie where a chicken runs around during this like thing where the people of Genovia get to talk to the queen, and they all have like perfect hair. They're like, "I'm just a humble villager with the beachy wave."
Part of an ancient Genovian tradition.
Mama, you say that about putting in your Vagisil insert. Not everything is an ancient tradition. And when you talk about ancient Genovia, do you mean actually ancient, or is that just how you refer to the time period before the country briefly sided with the Germans in the 40s? Because unless your soldiers were openly raw dogging each other in the bathhouses after battle, they weren't that ancient to me. And I would know. I've read 0 books on the topic. Have seen some interesting web pages though. Literally this whole part of the movie, the third act, is just like one little scene after another of something funny happening. It's really, these don't contribute to the plot much as they just sort of give us a vague idea of how Genovia is perceiving her, but that's never really fully committed to either, because it seems like from the beginning the world loves Queen Mia, Princess Mia, or whatever. It never really shows them being like, we're not sure she understands the nuances of us. It would have been cool if they could have had her kind of flub a few interactions with people from the town, because like, oh, she didn't know this or that, was like, she didn't know her Genovian history. Then the main conflict could have been her like becoming the well-versed Genovian ruler that she needs to be by learning to empathize with the unique struggles of these people. We don't get that, we get this. She has to ride side saddle, and they recommend a wooden leg to make it more comfortable.
No wonder she's so clumsy. She's got a wooden leg.
That's ableist sing-song Sarah with the sad bangs. There are Olympian athletes with prosthetic legs who could outrun you like a hot bath. You better not come for Mia and her wild, wild west wooden leg. She just needed it for horsing. It also has nothing to do with anything, so we get over it. No wonder she's so clumsy. She has a wooden leg. Wooden leg, wooden leg, wooden leg, round hole, square peg. Will it fit inside the hole in my body? Later on, Clarice is talking to, what is the name of Chris Pine's character? I don't know, Dashwood? Henry Dashwood? That feels made up.
She's terribly bright, sensitive, caring.
Ooh, they should just make this whole movie glamorous close-up shots of food. Next, show me Chris Pine's mouth while he sucks on a Twizzler until it dissolves.
Well, how can one rule the people if they do not know the people?
Touché. That's a very good question.
Don't admit that to the guy who's trying to outsmart you, Grandma. I can't help but feel like the protagonists are really relaxed about this race to the royal crown. And it's actually preventing me from caring too much about what happened. Also, again, we haven't really seen Mia fail to know what's up with Genovians yet. I mean, she let a chicken out during an important event where she would have listened to their, goddamn complaints. I don't see how that connects. Either way, she's being way too nice to this guy who loves baking and wants the royal crown or whatever. I would be like, oh, I hear you're into baking. That's perfect, because we're gonna have you sleep in the furnace room where you can bake at a 450-degree temperature every night. Oh, also, we'll be cutting off your feet today. Sleep well. Next, we're at some royal coronation event. Again, just like with the first movie, I don't actually know anymore what sort of fancy event we're jumping around to and fro. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I wish it mattered. I wish I could tell you it mattered, but it kind of feels like the longer I'm alive, the less everything matters. So maybe that's bringing you some comfort in its own way. Okay. A appreciation commentary for how gorgeous and talented Anne Hathaway is. It's so refreshing that this movie doesn't spend 45 minutes trying to convince us that this is a hideous young woman because she's wearing glasses. These movies would not be nearly as good without Anne Hathaway making Mia feel so memorable and real, because let's face it, the script can be kind of predictable at times, so she really is a breath of fresh air. This party stays problematic.
A special treat for our friends from Asia, Johnny Blue.
奇迹能变成真实，让我相信自己的力量。
And before anyone asks, yes, this is the most Asian singer we could get approved by the board of costume characters who live under Cinderella's castle. He's singing the theme song from the first movie. Meta! Chris Pine's hair is all over the place. It goes from being straight up from the movie Enchanted to relatively normal. Ow, that's my neck, dude. Ladies, if he gives you whiplash while moving into first base, how do you think it's gonna feel when he shows you his version of Missionary? He's gonna snap your spine over his knee and leave you for dead on the wet front lawn. Gentle, gentle. We gotta be gentle, unless directed otherwise. But if someone went, ugh, I would be like, all right, I'm in traction now, great.
Wait for me!
Skulls cracked, horrible drowning, dead bodies floating, national tragedy, political chaos, fade to black. That's my solution for how we end this movie now and get everyone to the cast party by 9 p.m.
That was very nicely done, Miss Lily. It's a pleasure to meet you.
The prettiest girl is riding in the stag.
So I just took a quick poll amongst myself to see if anybody cared about this Lily and the security guard romantic subplot. It was a unanimous no. However, if you'd like more background information on what happens between these two characters, you can feel free to visit the toilet. Mia is in this parade and she sees two boys messing with a young, shy little girl who's sucking her thumb. And you can tell Mia relate to her.
Would you like to be a princess today?
I can't, I'm too little, too piccola.
I understood you better the first time when you said it in English, stupid. The Spanglish Italian language that they speak here on this Genovian backlot of California is always confusing. How come everyone there talks the way I feel when I eat a Toblerone? I'm too little, too piccola. Okay, Abigail Breslin. By the way, they filled 2 roles with one parent's permission slip on this because they have Abigail Breslin here, and then Spencer Breslin was Jacques, the young aftershave wearing dancer. Mia inspires all of these young orphans from the children's home to feel like princesses.
Can we be in the parade? Of course. We could always use more princes in the world.
That's not true, because then eventually everyone on the planet would be princes and there would be no civilians to oppress. Unless we're just calling any man who doesn't commit sexual assault a prince, in which case, great, whatever sort of incentivization works. A meaningless title? Awesome. You didn't press your erection against my hand on the subway? What a prince. But Mia's sweetness clearly infects all of these orphans like tuberculosis.
Make a wish, take a chance, make a change, and break out.
There you go.
And that little girl's name? Melania Trump. In the next scene, Mia decides to use the summer resident, which is a perk for members of the parliament, as a temporary children's home for all of those young orphans. And she's like, well, if you're gonna miss your vacation home, you should try just sucking my tits. So she's getting to know the Genovian people by providing from her own wealthy bosom to feed their hungry throats. Ooh, weird things that I'm saying. Mia is getting very close to her engagement, so here's what she does for her engagement party.
Weeks before her wedding, Princess Mia, in a stroke of skilled diplomacy, has invited royal princesses from all over the world to her bridal shower slumber party.
Thus highlighting how she's a borderline child bride who must be sold off by her family in order to appease her misogynistic government. Royal slumber party! Which of these other adorable little girls are being entered into arranged marriages with important royals who need to be matched up with a viable womb? Y'all, okay, this is literally part of the Shondaverse. Shonda Rhimes wrote this. I don't think it's healthy for children to be princesses. I guess I'll just say that.
Hello, Princess Lorraine.
Oh, braces. Yeah, I'm getting 2 diamonds put in.
In which territory does Princess Lorraine rule over? The Orange County Community Center? That little girl's actually Lorraine Nicholson, Jack Nicholson's daughter. Just one example of the nepotism that fills this scene, including both of Gary Marshall's granddaughters and the great niece of Walt Disney himself. But for what it's worth, the slumber party scene is probably my favorite in the movie. I did not believe the IMDb trivia when they said Julie Andrews did that stunt herself, but I found some behind the scenes B-roll and apparently she did. But then I thought it would be funny to show you the difference between a final edited scene with sound design and music and what it was actually like on set. Here's what you order online. Versus what actually comes in the mail. My favorite thing in the world is, hey. Also, I want to know what business they had pushing that trained poodle down the slide and not even using it in the movie.
Stay! 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 Stay!
That dog is like, I kind of can't stay since you're ice luging me down the stairs on a mattress. But thanks, can't wait to never get paid for this since I don't understand the concept of money. I bet you the reason they didn't include that in the scene is because they're like, kids are gonna think it's okay to push your dog down the stairs on a mattress. They were already, no doubt, grabbing their sleeping bags and sliding down the stairs. We did that all the time as a kid. Got hurt a few times, but getting hurt is good for kids. As long as they don't die, it's like, now you know. Oh, did you guys think there wouldn't be a musical number in this scene? You better get ready. So the setup is like, oh, Princess Clarice is gonna get up and sing a song from my childhood or whatever, even though it's like, how does Mia know all of this old stuff? Like, she just met this woman a few years ago. Whatever.
The most glorious part of you. What did you do?
Well, I might have tweaked it a little bit on my computer.
Oh, so you're a DJ now too, Princess Mia? Because several military troops have been freezing to death in the Swiss Alps waiting for supplies, but as long as you're nailing those garage band tutorials, we're good. Movies will make it seem like any teenager on earth can just remix a song and add a hip hop beat. Interestingly though, this was Julie Andrews' first musical performance or time singing in a movie since 1997 when she had throat surgery. And they have Raven Join, which I love.
Some boys can walk.
Some guys can grow.
Strike an elegant pose.
With a really up close.
Call you more lovely than others by half. The one who's right,
My gorgeous prince
will be honest and true.
will believe in me too.
Wait, why does this song feel familiar? Oh, yeah.
I smoke, I drink, me too.
Well, good, 'cause we gon' get that's right.
It wouldn't be a musical scene if we didn't have some dancing children. In the early thousands, it was like, if you don't have an Allison Stoner type doing this on your video, like, are you even hip?
And you!
Oh no, the snack table was supposed to be peanut free. Does anyone have her EpiPen? Oh, I mean, great moves there, Hannah. AKA Hannah Schneider, or the granddaughter of Dame Julie Andrews, and taker of one intro to hip hop dance lesson. I literally feel like Gary Marshall cast these kids based on which adult chaperones he wanted to hang out with on set that day. Also, the girl being like, and me? And then the other girl's like, go off. Also, this poor girl Hannah is like, and Anne Hathaway has to be like, oh my God. The talent in this room is staggering. Back to the evil people who are, like, Chris Pine is having second thoughts. Ugh, I hate this.
Genovia would be in good hands and she would be happy.
You've fallen in love with her.
After meeting her 3 times somehow. You will not catch me falling in love with someone when I don't even know what they smell like after a few hours in the sun, or how they start to act on a weekend trip, or what their pubic situation is like. Take that as you will. Literally, Chris Pine and Mia are always having these secret conversations. I'm like, if you don't get the hell out of here, this movie is so long, and it doesn't need to be.
Would you like some help?
He's not the one she's marrying, is he? Would you please try to keep up, Brigitte? He's trying to steal the crown.
And everyone in the palace is surprisingly okay with it for some reason. Anyway, what kind of goofy things do you think we should do while we empty out these chamber pots? Some other stuff happens. Joe and Clarice flirt, and Clarice kind of shrugs him off by being like, I don't want to f you secretly. Even though she secretly does want to f him. She says, Joseph, I want your wrinkly d in my wrinkly Okay, so Mia has promised to never see Chris Pine again because it's getting too much. She's being watched like a hawk and people are getting suspicious of how they talk when she's engaged to another man. But he says, I just want to speak to you one more time. So he goes to her. Meanwhile, he thinks he has the uncle's blessing. The uncle was like, go after her, tell her that you love her. But he's secretly using this as a setup to take the crown anyway. Because after Mia and Chris Pine's character fall asleep for the night, this happens.
There's a man on that boat.
He's probably some fisherman.
With a video camera?
What?
You're really low.
You know I don't do cam shows unless my contract has a minimum viewership clause. I love the way Anne Hathaway says video camera in this.
Video camera?
Video camera? Yes, video camera. So Mia gets on her horse and rides back. She's crying to her grandmother because she got betrayed again. Basically the same thing that happened at that beach dance with the kissing with Eric Von Denton's character in the first movie. And although this all leaks out to the media, her and Andrew talk to each other and they're basically like, listen, we can still do this, we can still get married. And they hug each other and I was like, oh, it actually does a good job at showing the mature relationship between two people being forced to get married for royal reasons, even though they don't love each other. And I thought, what are they trying to do here? Be good role models for other kids who have to enter lovelage marriages? Like, why is this the healthiest relationship that they're depicting for us? Okay, I think if they're gonna play up this gay thing, like they did with that Anton character, they should have made it so that Andrew was secretly gay and like really leaned in so that, you know, they're saying one thing like, well, then it's kind of sad that Andrew has to live in the closet. But maybe at the end he comes out. But I'm getting a little too ahead of our time. This was 2004 when this movie was made. They were still shooting gay people in the military. So not literally, but maybe, I don't know. America, it sucks. What happens next? We see Mia's mother comes back for the first time and she has her brand new baby. So basically Mia has a half brother. The hairstylist comes back and they basically just try to resurrect the iconic qualities of that makeover scene in the first movie. It's not as good as or memorable. I'm just now remembering that it was in there, but she gets ready for her wedding. Meanwhile, Chris Pine's maid, who always overheard the double crossing that the uncle did, explains like, your uncle set you up. You have to go fix things with Mia. So he gets on a horse and starts racing to the wedding too. Okay, are we all caught up? Because now we're at the wedding and there's still 40 minutes left in the movie. Do you think I'm joking? Would I joke about something this unfunny? Do you think I just have 40 minutes to waste watching movies at a wedding? No, especially not a straight wedding. Even if it were a gay wedding, I would be like, speed it up. Where is the pizza? I love a wedding that has like a second dinner in the evening. Anyway, what am I talking about?
I'm a girl who loves black and is wearing pink.
And I guess instead of writing a clever joke to hilariously illustrate that internal conflict, the screenwriters thought it would be enough just to have the character state that fact out loud to herself at the weirdest possible time. I can almost feel the writers of the movie giving up at this point. Shonda, is this the kind of thing that kept Grey's Anatomy on the air since before the internet? Mia convinces herself to walk down the aisle, which was stupid because she looks like an idiot when she turns around halfway and runs out crying. Always dramatic, this one. Always dramatic. I'm over it. Mia, why don't you just go sit down and go back to being a dumb high schooler again? No, I'm just kidding. Everyone's upset.
Let me.
You just keep comforting that huge theme park turkey leg that you've wrapped in a napkin. That fake baby literally looks like the size of rolled silverware to me right now. But Clarice runs outside and finds Mia having her panic attack. She always gets into these moments where she's like, I can't do it. I can't do it. It's like, well, if you would just communicate with people like in the months leading up to this, it seems like they're all very willing to work with you.
Whatever choice you make, let it come from your heart.
Also, let it come quickly, because again, we're at the point where most movies are wrapping things up, and this is all feeling really similar to the first installment, I gotta say. I already said it's basically just, we go from Mia choosing if she wants to be a princess to choosing if she wants to be the queen. And again, the stakes don't feel high, because it's not like the country is gonna go to if she's not the queen. I mean, unless they could show me how Chris Pine would be such a bad ruler. Is his uncle gonna try to personally enrich himself with taxpayer money, cancel the orphanage, stop the summer concert series from happening? I don't get why he's so bad. Maybe if they outlined those stakes for me, I would care a little bit more. But also it seems like no one in the castle is worried. Even Princess Clarice, she's like about to retire, and she's like, but honestly, you can either be queen or not be queen, like we'll live. So I'm kind of tired of seeing this situation for Mia. Show me me Mia as a queen when she has to order airstrikes against North Korea. While there's a subplot where she's discovering that she's pansexual, something that I can dig my teeth into. Give me that gravitas. Anyway, Mia goes up to Andrew and is like, let's not get married. And he's like, thank you so much for letting me out of this. And then she starts to give a speech because still the parliament has to vote to allow her to take the throne without getting married on this day.
More importantly, she has a vision. She'll lead us into the 21st century.
She already started our official Twitter tourism account at Genovia forever. Although we're just a few days in and we can already tell that grammar and communications were clearly not her strong suit at college because of her amazing speechitudes and because she got the endorsement of a man. I think it's annoying that Chris Pine had to be the one to stand and be like, no, we should vote for her. She's not an idiot, even though she's got long hair and boobs. Because Mia is choosing not to get married, but we see that Queen Clarice, and Joe, they reconcile. She goes up to Joe and is like, will you still have an old batty bitch like me? So they decide to use the opportunity to get married themselves as Clarice steps down as queen to make room for her granddaughter.
I know it was short notice, but you were all dressed.
Yes, but if I knew this was a wedding for people over the age of 60, I would have worn my Grim Reaper costume while holding up a sign that says, why bother? Just a fun little tradition I like to do. My own Genovian tradition, if you will. Also, I hate that the color of Clarice's dress in this looks like the same shade as someone's dead ass. Necrophilia. That is the color of rotted flesh. Next, we have a beautiful scene with lots of Christian themes for some reason, where Princess Mia is, sent to the throne. I tell you, I want to go out dancing with the mom's history teacher boyfriend. He's so handsome. Anyway, Princess Queen of the world.
Will you in your power cause law and justice in mercy to be executed in all judgments?
I solemnly promise so to do.
Would you believe that Clarice still won't admit that budget cuts affected the design of her crown? She said, yes, it's my normal size crown, like always. Okay, sure, lady, you're gonna fit right in with Coachella there. The moment we've all been waiting for 2 hours.
Presenting Her Majesty Amelia Mignonette Thermopolis Rinaldi, Queen of Genovia.
It was at that second the air raids began from the North Genovian army. A dark day in history. Amelia Mignonette Anatomini Thermopolis, Queen of Genovia. And that's all she wrote for Princess Diaries 2, A Royal Engagement. While both Julie Andrews and Anne Hathaway were agreeing to do a third installment, that was before director Gary Marshall died. And it seems like that's basically never gonna happen. So I hope we enjoyed the 2 movies we did get. Honestly, let's end it there. I'm all in favor of that because a third movie would definitely be a significant drop in quality as opposed to Princess Diaries 2, which I think is a modest drop in quality. Again, just sort of the same story once again, but I did appreciate the bigger budget. I thought the new added characters were funny, at least. They weren't like unfunny, which would have made it really dreadful to watch. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Also, give this video a big thumbs up if you want to see even more Disney movie clip breakdowns just like this. But most importantly, if you're new to my channel, I would love to have you click that subscribe button right over here. That way you never miss new videos from me. I upload 2 new ones every week, so turn on notifications if you always want to be the first to know when we've got a royal ceremony for you. Also, I've got merch available and a Patreon where you can access exclusive clip breakdowns and virtual watch parties and other great benefits. You guys are all the greatest. Thank you for Amelia Mignonette Scootabopidopilis with me today. I will see you next time.